¿Qué tal? Qué gusto saludarles, amigos. Bienvenidos. Esto es ESPN Racing. Aquí hablamos del deporte motor. Hoy, un día muy especial, un día sumamente especial, porque contamos con la presencia de uno de los pilotos más grandes en la historia del deporte motor. Campeón, por cierto, en 1978 en la Fórmula 1. Ganador de las 500 millas de Indianápolis, 500 de Daytona. Y además, uno de los embajadores más emblemáticos del deporte motor y emblemático también del nuevo equipo Cadillac F1 que se suma a la parrilla de la Fórmula 1 el próximo año, el gran Mario Andretti, a quien le damos la más cordial bienvenida. Mario, welcome to ESPN Racing. It's really a pleasure and honor for us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us, Mario. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for having me. Thank you. Saludos.
From ESPN. Sorry, Mario. Go ahead.
Saludos.
Saludos, Mario. Bueno, from ESPN Racing, Alex Pombo, Adalfranco, José Antonio Cortés, and myself, Javier Trejo Garay. Mario, I would like to ask you, what is your role in Cadillac F1 team, Mario?
Well, my role is basically to be an advisor in some area where it interests me the most, which is the driver situation. I never wanted to be part of the running the team, if you will, the details, but I like to have, as I observe, I will give some, some suggestions in different areas that I think. I'm just outside looking in, if you will, because I don't want to have a day-to-day situation. That was clear from the beginning, and it remains that way, but I will have a home with the team when we are finally on the grid in 2026. And again, the area where I feel I'm most expert, that is the driver situation. That's where the only part that interests me at the moment and going forward, actually.
Básicamente nos está diciendo Mario que su rol principal va a ser en la elección de pilotos, que él no ha querido involucrarse más allá de en el día a día o llevar al equipo, sino básicamente asesorar en ciertos puntos, ciertas áreas y sobre todo enfocarse a los pilotos. Mario, it's interesting. I just want to ask you before everything goes on. Where did that passion come still? We were talking about 1994, Arrivederci Mario, your last season as a full driver with Nigel Mansell. Where does that passion still comes to you?
Well, it's difficult to me to actually explain what the sport means to me. It's my life. It's the only thing I ever wanted in my life, as long as I can remember reasoning. And as you know, it all started when I was still living in Italy, at a young age. And when I came to the United States, opportunity opened up. It could have never happened if we would have stayed there. And I pursued it. I had my twin brother, Aldo, mio gemello, Aldo. We had the same thing, same passion. And we started from nothing, as far as building a car, and the career just blossomed from there. I was very fortunate myself to survive it all, if you will. But again, I could never get enough of driving. I was interested in all the different top disciplines, whether it's primarily single-seaters, like IndyCars or Formula 1, but I was also interested in sports prototypes, and I wanted to have a good try at it, stock cars, at NASCAR as well, to just know what that is all about. And again, my experiences were obviously produce some good results, but because I was able to interest some of the top teams which is very important. Obviously, you need the equipment, you need a team. And so, again, I derive immense satisfaction out of my work in the business. And I wish I could have never stopped. You know, it's unfortunate that we get old, you know, and that's life. But as I came out of the cockpit, you know, the best thing is that my son Michael was continuing, even when he stepped out of the cockpit as an owner. So I felt that I had a home when I went to the races, not just that I arrived there as a spectator or so forth. And that's what I like about the situation that we will have in Formula One. You know, finally I could go to a Formula One race and I will have a home, a place to be where, you know, the team that's part of us. And so el mio amore for the racing continues.
Nos dice Mario que básicamente desde que estaba niño en Italia nació su pasión por el automovilismo y que de ahí fue creciendo. Cuando llegó a Estados Unidos le gustaban mucho los autos Fórmula y básicamente que él quisiera seguir corriendo, pero bueno, desafortunadamente los años van avanzando, vamos adquiriendo más experiencia y que ya no se puede, pues obviamente subir al auto y que con Michael al subirse y tener un equipo, pues él que se sintió en casa y sintió que seguía involucrado en el automovilismo y ahora también pues con el proyecto nuevo sigue con esa pasión.
Pepe Toño.
Okay, Mario, it's such a pleasure to have you here. What is the biggest difference that you see in the Formula One from the 70s, between that Formula One of the 70s and the Formula One now, aside of the salaries, of course?
Well, you know, it's not just Formula One, it's everything. I mean, it's even what you drive on the street. You know, technology evolves, the sport evolved. And, you know, the sport in the 70s, Formula One was only, 20 years old or something. And so now, as time goes on, everything, you know, you learn more and you grow. And that's exactly what happens. You cannot compare, you know, life then to today. Technology, everything evolves, everything, knowledge expands. The best thing that actually happened to motorsports is that we not only made the cars, you know, the engineers made the cars better, faster, and so forth, but safer. And which today the sport is enjoying the best moments in that respect, that the drivers have the best chance ever to retire on their own term. And that's a big thing. And so again, it all has gone in a proper direction, in my opinion. Many people say, oh, well, those were the days and whatever. Well, yes, I mean, I personally, I feel so fortunate that I experienced those decades and I'm still here today to enjoy, to see where the sport is today. So I can speak, I think, with some authority, you know, to know where we are today and how well off we are today.
Mario, it's such a pleasure talking to you. It's hard to me to understand why did it take so long for the FYI to accept Cadillac as a new team. For sure, it's complex, a lot of stuff. But I mean, your name, your last name means racing. It's only but positive for the Formula One and for racing, having you involved once again in the Formula One. Why did it take this long? ¿Por qué tardó tanto la FIA en aceptar a Cadillac en la Fórmula 1, entendiendo lo que implica el apellido Andretti?
Well, I think we could speak for a long time explaining everything, but to me, I'm looking at the positive. The positive is that we're in, and it's done. And to look back and then and say, well, this and that and the other, it doesn't do any good. So I rather just look forward to what is good right now. We're working toward being on the grid in 2026. Don't look back, look forward.
Nos dice que básicamente, Mario, que hay que ver hacia el frente, que sabemos que costó trabajo entrar a la Fórmula 1, que aceptaran el nombre de Cadillac, que tuvieron que hacer ahí algunos cambios, pero que él ve hacia el futuro. Lo pasado no le interesa. Y con respecto a lo que preguntaba José Antonio, nos dice que la tecnología, que los pilotos están viviendo en el mejor momento y que él es uno de los afortunados que pudo pues salir adelante en su carrera. Sabemos que en esa época había muchos accidentes y él pues menciona que ahorita es el mejor momento en tecnología y todo lo que se ha desarrollado para que los pilotos se puedan retirar sin ningún problema.
Ok, yo quiero preguntarle a Mario ahora cuáles son las expectativas que tiene el equipo Cadillac para su primera temporada en la Fórmula 1. Mario, what will we expect from the first Cadillac F1 season, Mario?
Well, first of all, the Cadillac involvement, as far as the power unit, will not be, it's not determined exactly when, because they're working already very hard, but we assume it's going to be maybe after the second or even the third season. So if when we start in 2026, we will have Ferrari power unit. And so the Cadillac will obviously will open many doors for us as far as technology, even in chassis situation, but that already is in play. We will use, and Cadillac obviously, their knowledge and technology in every way possible as times go on. I cannot say specifically, okay, this is what Cadillac will do, this is so on and so forth. So just the fact that the big umbrella is so huge, so rich, in my opinion, of knowledge in many ways and experience, even though it's the first time that officially General Motors is in Formula One, which is a great historic moment, but still they've had vast experience in other forms of the sport, and all of that plays. So it's wonderful to have a company like that on our side and looking into the future, not just the beginning, but the future as we go on. I think there's going to be we're looking at a dimension here that actually could be very significant benefit, for the team as time goes on.
Nos dice Mario que básicamente están trabajando con la unidad de potencia, que ellos esperan ya en la segunda o tercera temporada poder utilizar un propio motor. Como todos sabemos, nos lo dice él, están arrancando este proyecto con Ferrari, están desarrollando ya el monocasco, todo el chasis, todo el auto en la fábrica, y obviamente están trabajando a marchas forzadas, y sobre todo que es un momento histórico, porque es la primera vez que General Motors está entrando a la Fórmula 1, están con toda la intensidad y con todo el propósito de tener mucho éxito, y que eso es algo muy histórico. Mario, I read in some place you're going to have two factories, one in the United States and the other in Europe, and how they going to meet, because as we know, everything for Formula One is in Europe, and sometimes it's hard. It's like the Japanese with Honda, that sometimes they had to wait until the next day to make a decision because the time and everything. How they gonna approach having those factors in United States and Europe?
Well, I think the European side will have the total preparation for the races. The building, the basic aspect of chassis and so forth will be built here, but as far as the actual running of the team, the preparation for the races and everything else, it's all going to be from Europe on. In Europe, all the pieces, everything is going to be obviously like I said, the actual building of you know, the suspension and everything will be done here in America. But once the car is done and all of the spare parts and everything, it's all going to be there in England at full-fledged, so they can, you know, just deploy from there to all of the races all over the world. You know, so, but it's gonna work. It's a system that's all going in place now.
Aquí nos dice Mario que básicamente van a tener las dos fábricas, que van a estar desarrollando en Estados Unidos y que en Europa va a ser la base para partir a los grandes premios, donde van a tener refacciones, pero todo básicamente se va a estar desarrollando en Estados Unidos de Norteamérica y de ahí se manda a Europa y ya después ahí es el centro base para irse a todos los grandes premios.
Mario, you say your main task or your specialty is drivers. So right now, in your opinion, who is the pole sitter in the Cadillac's list to be the driver in Formula One for 2026?
Well, I wish I could tell you this, but this is something that we're keeping very private on our own because we don't want to give some, I don't know, some hopes in some areas where maybe it's not going to happen. So I think it's very important for us to keep this to ourselves until a final decision is made. There are definite, not too much choice in America, you know, but because of licensing and everything else. But the second driver, the second seat, will definitely be from an experienced driver that can be available. And we all know that the selection in that respect is quite clear. You know, you could there may be three pilots to choose from, three drivers realistically to choose from, and I'm not going to tell you which ones. But
can I say some names, Mario? Don't tell me which one, but can I say Checo?
You can wink if we are
Checo,
right.
Of course, the people would love to see Checo. They are going crazy. You can see it on the internet. Everybody's talking about Checo. On the other side, like you said, even actually Mick Schumacher has been on talks. Hulkenberg and several drivers have been on talk. But of course, we as Mexicans and all the fans in Latin America would love to see maybe Checo. But don't say anything.
It's an option?
Could be an option?
Absolutely. These are all options. Yes, yeah, they're options.
Okay.
I mean, you know, you look out there who is available, you know, and then it's easily you could see who has the most experience. You want experience for sure. And but we're thinking very hard, and I don't have the final say, but I will have some influence, you know, and I have my own ideas, and I hope that they sort of the team, the rest, we speak all the time, you know, that they would agree. We all like to be on the same page, and but that's my function, you know. It's I don't, again, I'm not the total boss, so I don't make the final decision, but I think they will listen to me.
Besides the point, you think Colton Herta is ready?
In my opinion, I think so, as an American, because he's had, you got to look back at how he trained, you know, and how good he was immediately when he came back to the States. And sometimes you cannot judge a driver on a specific season because of the functions of the team and so forth. But you know, basically he trained just like alongside Lando Norris, for instance, when he was going through Formula 3, Formula 2 in the early stages of his career. As a teenager, he was living in Europe, and then the first really top level racing was when he came to America. He raced in what is in the IndyCar. The series is like the Formula 2 and Formula 1, and he won that, and then he went on to the top level. My son Michael obviously promoted him to the top level, and he's still the youngest driver to ever win an IndyCar race at age 18. So, but he, there's some qualities that a lot of people maybe don't see that I see, that I think are qualities of a Formula One driver, and I see that in Colton. But the situation is still fluid there, still open.
Mario,
Alex,
sorry.
Para la traducción, perdón, Alex.
Sí,
Alex,
I'll
perdón.
wait.
Sorry.
Básicamente nos dice de Colton Herta que pues sí, lo considera listo, que él llegó de Europa, que él, pues básicamente su hijo Michael lo promovió y que sigue siendo el piloto más joven en ganar una carrera y que sí, él le ve las facultades para poder estar en un asiento de Fórmula 1.
Sorry, Adam. Because it's about this. Mr. Graham Loudon said that in an interview weeks ago that this not necessarily has to be an American driver on Cadillac F1 team, but your suggestion is that it has to be an American driver for one of the seats.
Well, I don't think I can say it has to be, because times fluctuate, times change to some degree, even from now to the start of the final plan. Some things could change. That's why I'm telling you, we're keeping our options open. And again, we would like to have at least one American driver. That's the objective. And if it comes immediately, that's good. If not, we will always be looking for that. And one of the reasons to have this team, believe me, started out by giving some American talent the opportunity there. And so again, but still the team has the responsibility to try to put together the most competitive situation possible, as far as the drivers are concerned. So that's a huge responsibility there as well. And that's why all of that, Graham Lawton is correct. He said that we can't be saying absolutely has to be an American driver. It's what we would like to see, and it may happen, it may not.
Básicamente nos dice Mario que sí, la idea es tener un piloto norteamericano en el futuro, que están abiertos y bueno, que sabemos ahorita es difícil, pero quieren abrir el camino a los pilotos americanos, que haría un sueño, que para eso realmente Cadillac también está trabajando muy fuerte y sí, que están viendo las diferentes opciones.
Mario, you said at the beginning that you're looking for 3 or 4 options of drivers. I understand you're studying all the possibilities, but Pato Ward could be an option in the future with you. I completely understand he is a McLaren driver, but for sure, for 2026, a lot of drivers will look for Cadillac as an option. At any time, could Pato Ward could be an option?
Of course. I mean, he has tremendous talent. He has shown that. Of course, we would have to fight pretty hard with the McLaren, because at the moment, he's under their contract. So, yeah, I mean, you have to keep your options open when they come. Maybe many situations are not available today, but in a year or 2 years coming, who knows? You have to keep your options open at all time. You can't say we only can go in this direction, because things change dramatically, believe it or not. And again, it's like anything else. You have to try to ultimately arm yourself with the best talent possible in every area. That's the only way you can compete at the top level. So you have to have some basic way of concentrating, as far as how you go forward, how you maintain. Of course, a big pride is to have as much American talent as possible, because you're representing your country. There's a lot of national pride into this.
Sure.
And so that plays, but at the same time, it's you still have to keep your options open in case some of those talents are not ready yet, maybe in the future. So it's not an easy situation, but I think in all areas, you have to evaluate time when the time comes. You have to evaluate the best situation then. That's all I can say. I don't know how else to explain it.
Pato who? Pato who, Mario?
Pato who?
Yes, I know, but yeah, it's interesting. Javier, go on.
He was very disappointed yesterday, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Bad luck. Mario, what will be a good result for Cadillac F1 in its first season next year?
Well, I think to be realistic, probably good points, to be able to come out and since it's going to be a brand new rule, chassis and power unit. It's more of a maybe level playing field, if you will, and I think it would be very satisfactory for us to feel that we can gain points, and as the season goes on, and anything better than that, just points, would be well accepted.
Bueno, básicamente Mario nos dice que el primer objetivo, le preguntaba a Javier cuál sería el objetivo en el primer año y nos dice, pues, lograr puntos. Básicamente lograr puntos, eso sería cumplir con el objetivo de ese primer año. Mario, changing to IndyCar, a very beautiful place, Thermal Club, but it's lacking of those intense racing. Of course, we had with Lundgaard, with Christian Lundgaard, Alex Palou that put that condiment into the race, passing PATO. But what do you think about a Thermal Club and about the whole Indy right now?
Well, it's hard to just really judge in one race, because this is the first official race there. They've had some racing, but not championship. And I was somehow, everyone was waiting maybe to have a yellow, to bring everybody together again. But once it got strung out, just like any race, it's very difficult to see much action. But I got to give Palou a lot of credit, for really being there, for most of the race until the end. His strategy played very well, and he's very good, very heady driver, very good, and he won because of that. So, but there was a lot of overtaking, but at the same time, you'd like to see much more action up front. It was action at the end, yeah, and quite honestly, I didn't think it was possible, but he just really he did all the right things, they had the right tires on at the right time, and that made a lot of the difference. But he stayed within striking distance the whole race. That's the thing.
Yeah, like you said, he's very, very smart, and I think he has learned a lot from Scott Dixon.
Yes.
Bueno, aquí Mario nos habla de la carrera de ayer de Thermal Club, que bueno, hubo rebases y hubo momentos, pero que no podemos darle en una sola carrera, que sabemos es el segundo año. El primero fue el challenge de $1 millón, y este año es la primera carrera, entonces hay que darle tiempo para que se vaya consagrando poco a poco, y que Alex Palou es un piloto muy inteligente y que estuvo ahí siempre en la distancia para poder pelear con Pato y con Christian Lundgaard.
Do you think Pato Ward could win Indy 500 this year? He was very, very close last year, very close 2 years ago, and for him it's very frustrating, that situation. But he's very, very close.
I think you know about that, Mario.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, going back to Pato, right now he has the full experience. He has been in IndyCar long enough now to know the super speedway, short oval, street courses, natural road courses. He has the experience for all of it. And he's been obviously, you could see, competitive everywhere. And so he's with a good team, no question. And his opportunity to win is almost every race he enters, quite honestly. Last year at Indy, he was fantastic, I think. It was just a matter of, just the right time. I think the one yellow situation was really the defining point. And he overtook what's the name?
Newgarden.
Newgarden.
Yeah.
A little bit too early. Could have waited because they gave Newgarden another shot at it. So, but he drove brilliantly last year, and when you can do that, you can win races. You can win any race.
Pues básicamente nos dice Mario que pues Pato está listo, que ya tiene la experiencia de óvalos cortos, óvalos grandes como Indianápolis, que pues el año pasado se precipitó un poco al pasar a Joseph Newgarden, que influyó mucho la bandera amarilla y que pues que está listo para ganar las 500 millas de Indianápolis este año.
Mario, IndyCar and Formula One are different in many aspects, but sometimes we have funnier races in IndyCar. It's my opinion, because sometimes we have F1 Grand Prix that are not as fun as we expect. They have been trying to modify with a sprint race, which personally I don't like a lot.
Don't either.
Me either. Me either. Don't like it.
If you could change any, I don't know, maybe sports rule, change the qualifying format, the grading in other order, I don't know. If you could change anything of Formula One, what would it be? ¿Qué te gustaría cambiar de la Fórmula 1? Porque a veces IndyCar tiene carreras más divertidas, no nos gusta el sprint race. ¿Qué cambiarías tú?
Well, I definitely would not change the qualifying format. I would personally, I mean, I will probably, and people will not like that, but probably I would eliminate the sprint races for sure, in my opinion, because in my opinion, it takes away from the big one on Sunday, because they have two. Anyway, that's me as a driver, not as an owner, not as a spectator, as a driver. And the other part is, I think, to be honest with you, the qualifying format for Formula One and also IndyCar, when it comes to road racing, to me is really, really good. Really, don't touch it. And whatever else I would do, I have no idea. To be honest, I really don't, because each race is different, and Formula One is Formula One. You have 10 teams, and then basically you have at least 5 major manufacturers that can really be competitive. Right now you have Mercedes, you have McLaren, you have Ferrari, and of course Red Bull. So you got 4 teams that, and the rest, maybe they can get a lick in there. But now in IndyCar, because of the spec series, everybody has the same chassis basically, and there the potential winner can come from anywhere. almost, of course they have usually 27, 28 starters, but you could have potentially the top 20. In the top 20, you could have a winner.
Yeah, which Penske.
So you have much more depth in the IndyCar series because of that. But again, it's a spec series. Formula One is manufactured, which I like. It's just whatever you like. But that's why you have two different series. They got to be different. And sometimes one is better than the other, depending on the weekend. You cannot predict, like you were saying, that this past race in Thermal this weekend, it was, a little too far stretched out. Maybe the next one would be fantastic. You will have maybe a couple of spin outs, and then you have a yellow, then everybody together again, and will be fought to the end. So you cannot predict that. But overall, though, I think we've seen some really good racing on both ends, here and there, So there's always something good to look forward to, in my opinion. So the sport is really at a good place right now.
You know which other rule I will take out? The track limit. I hate. I cannot stand it. The track limit.
Yeah,
I hate it.
Me too.
Yeah, because you are a driver.
I guarantee you all the drivers think the same.
Good. Yeah, I agree 100% with you. Did they complain too much on the radio, like back in your time, like the way they do? He was pushing me too hard. Oh, he pushed me.
Especially with that voice.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, but you have to look at this as some tracks. Some tracks you have to have some rule because you look at Paul Ricard, for instance. Oh my goodness, you could go straight everywhere, There's only lines there, and so you have to have some control in the track limits. But maybe, give a little more leeway, if you know what I mean. It's sometime when, especially to me, here's a good point. Especially when there's two cars really fighting hard, where you cannot really control the situation where you are. And for somebody upstairs saying, "Oh yeah, well, he was, when it comes to the, on the line and this and that, come on."
Yes,
when they're fighting, when they're fighting hard, you just let them do it.
Yes.
If it's really, if it's really obvious, that somebody's really trying to do something stupid, then okay, you can penalize. But when they're honest to good in racing, let them go. That's my opinion anyway. But nothing can be perfect, but some things could be a little bit better and controlled a little bit better. I feel that especially in Formula One, the rules are so stringent that it's almost like a driving school. They have to give these drivers, which are the best professionals on the planet, give them some leeway. Let them, use some judgment, and sometimes, let them work it out themselves. If there's a little banging around, instead of going out and penalize this and that, let them work it out when the race is over. A couple of 50 points or something.
Yeah. You mind if we start a campaign, Mario? Vote for Mario.
Ok. Alex, ¿nos quieres ayudar con esta parte de la traducción ya en lo último que dijo?
Sí, nos dice Mario, le preguntaba a Dal de las diferencias entre la Indy y la Fórmula 1. Dice que la Indy es una serie spec, que todos traen el mismo auto, los dos motores que sabemos que es Chevrolet y Honda, pero básicamente es una spec series, como se le conoce, y que tienes dentro de los 20 primeros cualquiera puede ganar. En la Fórmula 1, saben, ustedes construyen el auto, construyen y desarrollan, que es diferente, parte. Y después hablábamos de esa regla del track limit que a él no le gusta tampoco, que la cambiaría, que en algunos lugares a lo mejor sí se tendría que aplicar, pero que los dejaría que ellos arreglaran sus problemas, inclusive pues hay un poquito de box para que se animara y arreglaran esas situaciones. Y también pues algunos cambios pequeños, que no le gusta la carrera sprint, pero que el formato de clasificación sí lo dejaría como está, que le gusta mucho.
Okay, is there a last question for Mario, guys?
Well, I
No?
have plenty, but go ahead, Jose Antonio.
I have one right now. In your opinion, what's happening with the second driver situation in Red Bull right now?
Good,
Well,
good.
well, in the
Good
past,
question.
they get rid of Checo because he's is underperforming, but right now Lawson is underperforming too. It's more the responsibility of the team, of the engineers that make that car, or as a driver, how you, what is your opinion? Because since Max Verstappen is the driver number one in that team, the second driver cannot drive that car.
Well, I all I can say is that Liam Lawson is making Checo look very, very good. By comparison.
Yes.
Sí, sí, sí.
So it's the young lad is having some real big problem adjusting to the car, and I don't know. Maybe Yuki should be in that position. Tsunoda, I think he probably deserved that drive more than Liam, but who am I? I don't know. I'm just outside looking in. But as a number two driver, I think to promote Yuki from Toro Rosso, to Red Bull, I think that would have been the thing to do from what we know now. But we don't know what all the politics is, with the team and whatever. So just an opinion.
Bueno, habla de ese segundo asiento, que es una opinión que deberían de haber subido a Yuki, que Liam, pues como todos sabemos, no está dando el ancho, y que realmente puede ser cuestiones internas del equipo, políticas, y que básicamente es eso. Adal, ¿tú tienes algo más?
Yeah, only one finally question, one more question by my side. It could be hard to answer this, Mario, but what could be your top 5 rank in Formula One history for you?
My top 5.
Top 5 drivers.
Oh, in my time, well.
Or on your time, and also actually, if you could talk about.
I never do that. I never classify, because I find that it's not fair to do that because there are different opinions, and you always, every time, if I get caught up in something like that, I always feel, oh no, I should have thought of someone else. So unfortunately, I cannot answer that question for you.
Okay, it's fine.
Don't worry.
Nos decía Adal que si podía poner los 5 mejores pilotos en la historia de la Fórmula 1. Mario dice que no le gusta meterse en esas situaciones porque son épocas diferentes. Yeah, Mario, and also I agree 100%, because it's so hard. It's like when they compare Pedro Rodriguez, that you drove in the 60s with him, and then Checo now, that who's the best driver between Checo and Pedro, and there were some other drivers. It's so hard because, like, back then, it was so risky to get in the car.
Yeah.
As you know, you were one of the luckies that walk away in different accidents. And right now, safety technology makes you so safe that there's no comparison, really.
I know. I agree.
Okay. Mario, last question for my side also. What is your opinion about Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez? Do you like it?
The Autódromo?
Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez in Mexico City?
Yeah, I never raced there, unfortunately, so I cannot judge that.
Okay.
On TV, it looks really interesting when you come into the stadium area and so forth. It's got a lot of character, And in general, I think I hear good things about it, but as a driver, I never drove it there, so I cannot give you, but watching it on TV and so forth, it's fantastic, I think.
Bueno, aquí nos dice que nunca manejó en el Hermano Rodríguez, pero que se ve fantástico ahí la zona del estadio, que se ve algo increíble. Mario, I have one question. Well, actually, just two real quick. What do you think about the way IndyCar is not going in so much international? There are so many international drivers, but like we heard some of the CEOs or the people say, we are not really going the way for international, but it's international series. You remember in the 90s, it was almost competing with, everybody was talking as the same as Formula One when all those Formula One drivers came. And what do you think? You think will be the best approach to go international again?
Well, here again, it's very difficult to answer that because there's so many factors here. I mean, it's the financial side too, that all of a sudden is very different. I don't know what to say. I know there are many great facilities around the world that could host, not just Formula One, but, even IndyCars or whatever. But it's always a situation of, it's a financial situation usually that plays the biggest part. Again, times change. As you say, you're talking about the kart era, where many international races were very, very, very profitable, very good all around for us, even, on that side, but I don't know. I don't know what the real answer on that would be. It's just it's a feasibility factor. I don't know.
Would you love to see an IndyCar race in Mexico?
Yes, of course. I mean, it's very close. I mean, it's the proximity, the travel factor is very, very easy. And yes, I think I would love to see that. And quite honestly, the Mexican fan base is so strong, and they love all motor racing. I see that and even IndyCar races, I identify with more Latinos than anything else, and I think Mexico probably would appreciate another IndyCar race, especially where you have so much talent in IndyCar, to represent Mexico. So who knows? Talk to Roger Penske.
Yeah, we will definitely. And just I'm just gonna go through history. And my last question: when you heard that Nigel Mansell was coming to Newman Haas, I heard at one point that your relation with Nigel, it was difficult, to put it one way. How you took that approach when they told you it was coming as a Formula One champion? You were a Formula One champion, but at the end you're a driver and you want to win to the guy next door.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I felt I was at the end of my career anyway, and so when he came on, he got, I feel that he got a lot more attention, which is okay. It's not okay for me at the time, but it was okay. And he there were some other factors that worked in his favor, but I'm not going to go into that because it sounds like an excuse. But other than that, well, we get on. That's we're good friends now. So
I still have that folder, the one that they did, Arrivederci Mario. So I still have it up there in my collection.
Okay. Mario, I just want to say thank you for your time. Really was a pleasure for all of us. Thank you, Mario.
Thank you for having me. All
Thank
of
you,
you.
Mario.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mario, and the best wishes for you in the new adventure as an advisor, selecting the drivers, and just give us, as soon as send us an email or something through Jose Antonio if you want, saying, okay, don't say anything, but we're ready.
Okay.
Okay.